Hello, hockey fans! Welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The best playoff tournament is almost here. One more week we've got to get through. One more week. And then we will be there. 16 games on tap tonight here on Tuesday, April 26th. We will be keeping an eye on all of them, especially the playoff-relevant games. We're looking at you, Panthers and Bruins. We're looking at you, Hurricanes and Rangers, Oilers and Penguins, and especially the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. So much to keep an eye on. Will the Golden Knights stay alive in the playoff hunt, or will Dallas knock Vegas out? Lots to keep up with tonight. We will have some fun there. Plus, our usual amount of banter back and forth. All kinds of silly stories. I've got one about the Dallas Stars plane apparently not being able to take off from Canada. We've got some follow-up from the Ryan Hartman, Evander Kane fight from a few weeks ago. Zach's got some follow-up of the Tampa Bay Lightning going out to visit President Biden. All kinds of great stuff coming up. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. Buckle it on up. Here we go. And welcome on in to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Adam. Zach is along with us tonight as well. We're both back after a crazy week last week. More craziness yet to come. Hang on there with us. We will get through all of it, but we're both here tonight, keeping you up to date on all 16 games going on as we push the final week of the regular season into the playoffs. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm good. How are you, Adam?
Oh, it's been a crazy week. Crazy week. Non-hockey stuff, off the ice news for me. I had an amazing concert that I got to do last weekend, but it took up a lot of time. It was kind of nice to be away for a little bit from it. Helped to kind of refresh and reset a little bit.
Well, of course.
And I know you've got your show coming up, right? You're doing something with Twin City Players, right?
Yeah, we're doing Little Mermaid. It's not till June, so we still got some time. But yeah, I got rehearsals. I think, what did I say last time I was telling somebody, 5 nights a week? I get Friday nights and Sundays off, basically.
Oh, yeah. Those will get busy real quick. All kinds of fun off the ice, too. But we all know why you're here. You tuned in to talk hockey. So we will be doing that tonight with our usual brand. The big game, keeping up with, of all the games tonight, the Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars, with just over 2 minutes left in the first period. There is no score. What's at stake for this one tonight? If the Golden Knights lose, if Dallas wins, then Vegas is eliminated from playoff competition. We will have a lot closer and firmer setting on what the playoffs are going to look like in the West. The East, we know who the teams are. We know what chairs they're all going to be sitting in. We know who's going to be occupying the chairs. We just don't know which ones just yet. Few things to keep in track of there. But in the West, there's still some playoff spots out there. I see Taryn in the chat. The Kings are very close to clinching the playoffs. They've got 96 points as it sits right now. They would be starting off at Edmonton in the West, but they've got They've got a couple of games left. They are one of the 6 teams not playing tonight, so they can't make up any ground with Edmonton. But, well, then we look at the score. Edmonton's winning 3-1, so Taryn, the Kings are going to stay in third. Oh, you still there, Zach?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I thought I lost you there. I thought the connection dropped for a second there. So, never mind, Taryn. I was going to try to give you something encouraging about the Kings having the night off, but they're going to lose ground to the Oilers. The Oilers are up 3-1 with 14 minutes to go in the third. So, what about you, Zach? What games are you kind of keeping an eye on tonight out of the 16?
I'm with you. I would say the West. The East, is, like you said, it's situated. We just trying to figure out which tiers everybody's going to be in. And then the West, I just looked the other night. It was I think it was 5 teams still vying for 3 spots. So, yeah, L.A. and Vegas and Vancouver and Dallas and Nashville, I want to say. So, yeah, what we talked about just prior to the show, and the one that's going on right now, the Dallas and Vegas game, that's going to be huge for determining who's in and who's out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you look at it right now. Yeah, the Pacific Division is the most wide open. You've got LA, Vegas, and Vancouver all still alive. Vancouver, yep, they're alive, but, they need help. A lot of help. They're 3 points back. Now, they do have a game in hand on LA, so they could make it up. They're hosting Seattle later tonight, so we'll see. That's one Vancouver cannot afford to drop that game. I think they might technically still be alive with a loss, depending on how some other things go. But if Seattle wins that game, you can put a nail in the coffin for the Canucks.
Yeah. You said alive differently 2 different ways. I think you need to say it like you did the first time.
How did I say it the first time? What did I do?
They're still alive.
Yeah. Barely. Yeah, run. Yeah, barely alive.
Which I think those would be if those 2 made the playoffs, I think that would probably be the biggest surprise for me because, the Kings haven't been relevant since their 2 cups in 3 years back in the first half of this decade. And then the Canucks haven't been relevant since 2010, 2011.
Yes. And then they rioted and burned their cars when they lost, which is par for the course for Vancouver.
Right. What are they, East Lansing? Come on.
Yes, frankly, yes, but just on the West Coast.
Okay, all right.
And do I have this right, Zach? If Vegas doesn't make the playoffs, this is the first time ever that Vegas misses the playoffs, right?
Accurate. Yep. Every year so far they've made it. They made it to the final the first year, and then they've made it to I think, let me see. So that second year, I think they did not make the Western Conference final, but every other year they've made at least the Western Conference final.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing well. And I see Mike Pat is in the chat as well. He's kind of breathing easy right now because the Washington Capitals, not only have they already clinched a playoff spot, the Penguins are losing to Edmonton right now. Now, Washington just fell behind the Islanders here. The Capitals are playing tonight, but still, if the Capitals can come back against the Islanders, should happen. I wouldn't be shocked. As I pull up the numbers from the game, let's see. Ovechkin hasn't set a new record yet. Give him time. He's on the ice. A record will get set. But if the Capitals can come back, they just gave up a goal right at the start of the period. It's to fall behind 2-1. But if Washington can come back and at least get a point, they tie with Pittsburgh, and they can move out of that wild card spot and avoid the gauntlet of either Carolina or Florida in the first round, I'm feeling optimistic if I'm a Capitals fan.
Yeah, for sure. How's Alex doing on his quest to overtake Wayne?
I mean, he's third. He's only got Gordie Howe left to beat, and then there you go. So, it's hard to keep track. Literally the last couple of weeks, it's been every time Ovechkin takes the ice, he breaks some kind of record. Where is he sitting at right now while I look it up? Let's see.
I know that was our big point of discussion towards the beginning of the year.
Let's see, because he just tied for most 50 goal seasons in NHL history. That was the most recent one that he hit. I think he's at. We'll just go to Pro Hockey Reference. Keep talking while I look this up.
So that I looked up that article about from Greg Wyshynski about the possibility of expanding this Daily Cup playoffs.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
So he says the last few weeks of the 21-22 NHL season have had all the drama of a foregone conclusion. The Eastern Conference playoffs has been set since, I don't know, Halloween. The jockeys are finished as much as they're letting the chips fall where they may and hoping to not lose any vital players to injury before the real season starts. In the West, the actual playoff race is between Vegas, LA, and Vancouver. Otherwise, the West is set and has been for some time.
Yeah. Oh, Ovechkin is 104 goals behind Gretzky, by the way.
Okay, gotcha. So doubtful it's going to happen this year, but maybe next year.
He needs a few years yet. He needs a couple, but
okay.
He's at 50 this season, and we're basically done with the season. He'll get a couple more, but Washington just went on a power play too, so we might get a tie game there. So we'll keep up with that.
Ooh. So the article is ESPN Plus one. I don't have that, but so for as much as I can read, it says this is the part of the Shark Tank pitch where the inventor says it doesn't have to be this way. He says after adding Vegas and Seattle the last 5 years, NHL now has 32 teams. Half of them do not qualify for the playoffs. That is objectively preposterous and deleterious to growing the game. And then he goes into what it should look like. But I'm
actually going to disagree with him on that premise.
Okay.
The NBA has more than half of its teams make the playoffs, and the first round of the NBA playoffs is boring because you have juggernauts like the Bucks, for example, who are mopping the floor with the Bulls. Not to say that the Bulls shouldn't have qualified for the playoffs. A better example would be the Brooklyn Nets just got swept out of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics. Taryn, by the way, this is one. This is one. I know you keep tally for us.
But we're putting things in context.
Absolutely, this is very relevant. You just had
it's
the
really
Brooklyn
only half
Nets.
of a. We digress.
Exactly. I just lost my train of thought. Back up.
That the first round of the NBA playoffs is super boring, and we wouldn't want our playoffs to become that.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. You had the Brooklyn Nets just get swept out by Boston out of the first round when Brooklyn, the way the Nets played over the last half of the season, you could argue shouldn't have made the playoffs. There's some different things that the NBA has done to make their first round kind of more interesting. It's getting into the weeds a bit. The point is, when you throw more than half your league into the playoffs, that doesn't automatically mean you're going to get a better product.
True.
Taryn is counting it as 1. Okay, all right. We're at 1.
Dang it.
It's all right. It was, like you said, it was very relevant. It was a relevant point to bring up.
A way to put things into context, like I said.
Exactly. I actually kind of like the NHL's format. It's very different. I was having this conversation with a coworker earlier today. It is very high school-esque in the way it's set up. I mean, you've got, the way I look at it is you have the divisional semifinal, the divisional final, conference final, league final. It's very high school-esque that way, where it's you just
districts, regional, state.
Right, exactly. As opposed to a 1v8, 2v7 kind of a tournament format.
True, yeah.
But I like that the way the NHL does it, because you get more rivalries earlier in the playoffs. You don't have to suffer through what would be a good example for this year, trying to look at the standings.
Well, here, I'll give you the opposite. I'll give you like what you said. They want more rivalries earlier in the playoffs, and to get more eyeballs drawn to those. And just look at the year the Caps won the Stanley Cup. They played Pittsburgh early on, and that had been their kryptonite every single year, it seemed like. I mean, they're like, up until the year they won the Cup, they were essentially the Cincinnati Bengals. They would make the playoffs and get no further. And they finally had to get the monkey off their back of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and when they did, they went all the way.
Yeah, that's a really good example there. Yeah.
That was the same year. They beat Pittsburgh, and maybe that's what it took, is that being able to rally and beat their rival gave them the fuel and motivation needed to, hey, guys, we beat the big bad Penguins. We can do anything. We can go conquer the whole world and get the Stanley Cup.
And sure enough, they did it. And then they let Barry Trotz walk for, I still don't know why, but they did, and now they're trying to rebound from that. Actually, I just had a blurb come across. Austin Matthews.
Hang on. Are you saying Barry Trotz trotted off?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. Oh, while you're coming up with more fresh puns over there, we actually have a little bit of news over from your Red Wings. They are playing up in Toronto tonight. They're not doing well, but Austin Matthews is having himself a heck of a game. He just became, I want to make sure that I get it right, he is the third player in the last quarter century and the first U.S.-born player ever to hit 60 goals in a season. He scored on a power play just under 6 minutes into the third period against Detroit to go up 3-0, and that was goal number 60 for him. So congratulations, Austin Matthews, on being the first U.S.-born player to hit 60 goals.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is a lot of goals in a season.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about Ovi, and you said he has like what, 50? So for Austin Matthews to get 60 in one season, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Hang on, 60 in a season versus 60 like overall, right?
Yeah, 60 this year. They're playing game number 81. He has scored 60 goals.
Oh wow! Holy smokes!
And he himself this season, while I pull up his numbers real quick, he has played he has only played in 72 games. This is his 73rd game this season. So he's missed 8 games.
He's getting it 73rd. Okay, so just under a goal a game, basically?
Yeah, just under a goal a game. He's got now at least 106 points. I'm looking to see. He did not have an assist. He does not have an assist tonight. So he is at 106 points in 73 games. That is outstanding.
Yeah, for sure.
So all kinds of fun that we're keeping an eye on here tonight. All right, we do need to take a quick break. Before we do that, the Golden Knights did score a goal late in the first period, so they are at first intermission up 1-0 there. So the Golden Knights staying alive with 2 periods left to go. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then staying alive. Very good, Zach. I'm glad you went there with me. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. We are going to take our first break, and then on the way back, of course, we're going to keep up with the live games going on. I want to talk a little bit about Dallas because there was some craziness that happened to the Stars last week, but they're still winning hockey games despite the fact that apparently they had a jet that just wanted to stay in Canada. We will talk about that and more on the other side of a break. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development. But we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Zach was very kind and reminded me we forgot to take care of our housekeeping there in the first segment, so we will do that now. Of course, this show and all shows on IE Sports Radio, of course, are sponsored by the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in the hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California _Warriors, and Facebook Southern California Warriors. And, of course, IE Sports Radio is available for you on all the major social platforms. You can find us at IE Sports Radio. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And the 2022 NFL Draft is right around the corner. It is 2 nights from tonight. IE Sports Radio is excited to announce its 3rd annual Mock Draft Challenge. The rules are simple. Predict all 32 first-round picks. No trades, no modifications, no tricks. The participant who has the best mock draft will receive a shout-out on all of our shows and their choice of an IE Sports Radio hat or shirt. For more information or to submit your mock, please reach out to Mike Pat at Let's Wine _IESR. He is in the chat tonight. I'm sure you can go back and forth with him about some of the details about that too. So be sure to check that out. And I do want to shout out our Patreon supporters as well, at Bay Area Raised and at MLOS Great. To support us on Patreon, go to our website, iesportsradio.com, and click on the link there. And there are things for you there for Patreon. So, Zach, we've all had interesting experiences traveling. I'm sure you can come up with a story of a miserable traveling experience.
I got a quick one. So nothing really happened this day, but it was the potential for something to happen. We were in Guatemala on a mission trip, and it was the last day, and we went to go visit an active volcano, and we also flew home, and it was Friday the 13th.
Who put that itinerary together?
Right?
That's... No! That's just begging for something to happen.
But everything turned out fine. We got to roast some marshmallows over the lava, which was really cool.
Of course you did.
Well, technically we didn't have marshmallows. We brought our guide a care package from the U.S. and but we had peeps. So we roasted peeps over the lava. In reality,
very appropriate.
So, yeah, and then we wound up flying home the same day, and everything was all fine and dandy. But yeah, my one buddy says, "I hope nobody's superstitious."
You visited a volcano and then flew from the volcano home on Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm. I'm not directly from the volcano, but back into town to the airport, yeah.
I'm trying to fit in a Jason Voorhees joke in there, and it's not working, so I'm going to move on.
Right, yeah.
Well, the reason I ask, the Dallas Stars had themselves a miserable flight home last week. They had a stretch of 3 games and 4 nights. They had played in Calgary the night before. They were working on flying home to play the Seattle Kraken the following day. They're on the charter flight. The flight is on the runway, going down the runway, not just sitting there, actively going down the runway. And all of a sudden, it stopped. The pilot threw on the brakes. Coach said that we think we're going this way, and all of a sudden, we're stopped. That was Rick Bonus of the Dallas Stars talking about it. The pilot initially came on and said everything was fine, and then said, "No, we're not going to be able to fly you home." They had to wait around at the airport for 6 hours for a plane to fly in and come get them. Once the plane arrived, the Stars had to then go through customs a second time because they were in Calgary. They were up in Canada. They had to go through customs a second time because those are the rules, just to fly home then and play Seattle. By the time they got home, they left their hotel 8:30 a.m. on Friday. They got home 3:30 a.m. Saturday. Suffice to say, Coach Bonus canceled the morning skate, and they fell behind to Seattle 2-0 early in the game. The Stars did manage to rally and win the game 3-2, but certainly that was not a fun trip home for Dallas.
Yeah, no joke.
The funds of... These are the things you don't think about when you say, "Mom, I want to play professional sports. I want to play professional hockey." You don't think about the fact that the plane might have to slam on its brakes.
Right.
Things
like
you just
either,
take for granted.
Yeah, definitely take it for granted. It either goes one way or the other way. Either your team takes a turn for the worse because of it, emotionally affecting them and everything, or the team rallies around it and everybody is galvanized from the experience. And, just a couple years back, you look at that Michigan basketball team that had plane troubles at the airport and had to all get off the plane and take a different plane when the Big Ten tournament was in Washington, D.C. And, they wound up getting there late and didn't have the right jerseys and stuff. And so I think the first day they played in their practice uniforms or whatever, but they all rallied around it and they wound up winning that tournament that year.
Yeah, it is crazy how that can kind of work for you a little bit there. The Stars scored all 3 goals in that game in the second period. The game winner went to Vladislav Namestnikov. Say that 5 times fast.
What? Wait, hang on. What day was this?
Saturday.
Okay, one sec. Oh, no. Stupid thing. Continue while I look this up.
Roop Hintz was the other guy who had a big game for the Stars. He scored the first 2 Dallas goals to tie the game before Namestnikov won the game with just over halfway through the second period, scored on a wrist shot for Dallas. That solidified Dallas into a wild card spot, too.
That's my former Red Wing, Namestnikov.
Yes. Yes, the nice long Russian name. Definitely fits on the back of a sweater.
Namestnikov.
Yeah, definitely. The equipment guy loves it when he shows up and he's got to fit all that under the back of the sweater.
I know, right? His name starts and ends with a V.
But that was a big game for Dallas too, because winning that game allowed them to kind of take a hold of the wild card situation in the West now, so that they can be in a position tonight to potentially knock off Vegas with this win. That was a key critical game, and the Stars had to play it basically on no sleep.
Yeah. Well, they slept through the first period.
Yeah. Understandably, yeah. They were all sitting there on the bench. Just, I'm done with my shift. Quick, hand me a pillow.
Right. Give me some no-dos.
Coach, just don't look at me. Don't call my line again for a couple minutes, please.
Right. 5 more minutes, Mom. Well, I'm glad to take a more serious note. I'm glad that everything turned out okay. Nobody got hurt.
Yes. Oh yeah, very, very important. Nobody got hurt. No bad things happened. Oh, we do have some finals real quick here. Good news for Mike Pat. The Penguins lost. Edmonton beat Pittsburgh 5-1. So the Penguins do not put any distance between themselves and the Capitals. Bad news for Mike Pat. The Islanders beat the Capitals 4-1. So the Penguins maintain their 1-point edge on the Capitals, which they both clinched playoff berths in the East, but Pittsburgh gets to hold on to that also important 3rd spot in the Metropolitan Division and avoid the wild card, so they don't have to take on either Florida or Carolina in the first round. Instead, they get the Rangers.
Yeah, woof.
No offense to New York, no offense to the Rangers. That's a lot easier of a first-round opponent.
Than Florida or Carolina, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So Washington, as it sits right now, Washington would still be getting the Panthers in the first round. And the Panthers are losing tonight. They're playing Boston, but getting off a little bit there. So couple of finals there. The Maple Leafs did finish their shutout of the Red Wings 3-0. The Lightning beat the Blue Jackets, Oilers beat the Penguins, Islanders beat the Capitals. So we're getting some finals in while we're here yet tonight. All right, let's take one more break, and then Zach, I know you've got a couple things that you wanted to finish things up with tonight before we pass the puck over to Sin City Sports over in Vegas, and Kale will wrap up the Vegas-Dallas game tonight. All right, this is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Right back right after this.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Motorsports takes many forms, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all.
I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out The Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome on back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We've got one more segment that we're doing here real quick before we hand things over to Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports, talking all things Vegas. I'm sure he is keeping an eye on the Golden Knights Dallas Stars game. Knights are still up 1-0 with 6 minutes and 54 seconds left in the second period. William Carrier, the only goal scorer in the game tonight, his 9th goal of the season. Again, Vegas wins. Vegas stays alive in the Western Conference playoffs. And the Stars just tied the game. While we were talking, the Stars just tied the game. So 1-1 with less than 6.5 to go between the Knights and the Stars. So very tight game. I am sure that Cale will be keeping an eye on that. Plus probably talking about the NFL draft and things like that too. But Zach, I know you had a story that was near and dear to you. Your Red Wings got embarrassed tonight 3-0 against Toronto, but apparently embarrassment runs with the franchise a little bit.
The little story about our little ditty about Jack and Diane, a little bit ditty about Zamboni and Octopus. Anyway, let's get into it here. Red Wings Zamboni driver. Oh, sorry, octopus twirling Zamboni driver Al Sabatka.
That is a key qualifier. You need to get that in there for him because that's. Man, yeah.
Well, at the beginning of the year, we talked about all the pieces that fit into building a rivalry. Well, this is more so pieces that fit into building a culture. And he's one of those things, one of those icons of Red Wings hockey. He's tasked with picking up all these octopi that people are throwing on the ice.
You could not pay me enough to do that job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ugh, gross. Ugh. But yeah, Detroit Red Wings octopus twirling Zamboni driver Al Sabatka says he was fired for urinating in a drain, and he filed a discrimination lawsuit. Al Sabatka filed said lawsuit this week against Olympia Entertainment 2 months after he was fired, following 51 years with the Red Wings. His lawyer said he has a health condition that causes him to frequently urinate. Sabatka, 68, couldn't get to a restroom, so he urinated in a drain that carries ice runoff from the Zamboni machines at Little Caesars Arena. Somebody saw him and apparently reported it back in February. He thought no one was in the building, attorney Deborah Gordon said. He was given no warning, no second chance. Olympia Entertainment said it wouldn't comment on a legal matter. Besides steering the Zamboni at Red Wings games, Sabatka was known for removing octopi thrown to the ice by fans, a Detroit tradition at Olympia Stadium, Joe Louis, and now Little Caesars Arena. Fans cheered as he twirled the sea creatures above his head. Gordon said management was aware of Sobotka's prostate problem. Sobotka is quoted as saying, "I was shocked." He told WDIV-TV, referring to his dismissal, "I didn't know what to say. Heartbroken, yes."
Okay. My father-in-law has a similar situation, so I understand that you have to drop everything and run mentality.
Sure.
You can get away with that at your house, not in a public arena.
Yeah.
Wear a diaper.
Yeah, get some Depends.
Yeah. Don't go in the drain. Don't go find any place and decide it's the urinal. No.
Yeah.
You're
absolutely right. Public place, which means, the potential for decent exposure, et cetera, et cetera.
That's just that. You assume you know where that water goes, but who knows?
Yeah.
That's not clean.
Yeah.
It's
a huge stadium. Yes, the walk might be long, but they are anticipating thousands of people. I'm sure there's a bathroom somewhere nearby.
Dude, adult diaper. It's the thing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Goodness.
Goodness gracious.
Red
Get
Wings.
yourself together.
Red Wings versus the urinal there.
Right.
During that last break there, we had a couple more games go final. The Hurricanes beat the Rangers 4-3. The Senators beat the Devils in overtime 5-4, and the Bruins did in fact hold on to beat the Panthers 4-2. So we've got some more final scores in there. The Maple Leafs, with that, they're hanging on to second place there in the Atlantic. Taryn chimes in. The Toilet Cup. That's the prize that the worst place team and the best team in the NHL wins the President's Cup, and that's coming down right now between Florida and Colorado. That the Toilet Cup would go to the worst team in the NHL. So right now you're talking either Arizona or Montreal are duking it out for that dubious honor. My money's on Arizona.
Did you say dubious or duteous?
Dubious, but duteous works even better. All right, I think that is just about going to do it for us tonight. I'm going through, and of course we've got some stuff for next week, but nothing super fast. So,
hey, real quick, Evander Kane, is that a quick one or not? And Ryan Hartman?
I will make it super fast. Effectively, what happened was Evander Kane and Ryan Hartman got into a fight a couple of weeks ago, and Ryan Hartman flipped off Evander Kane on his way to the sin bin, and so Hartman promptly got fined. Evander Kane's ex-wife Venmo'd him the money to cover the fine. The story hit social media, and because, of course, Evander Kane is a Class 1 a-hole, fans kept Venmoing Ryan Hartman money to cover the fine. He said, I'm going to pay. He thanked fans and said, I have to pay the fine and I will, but keep it coming. He donated all the money to charity. He donated all the money to a children's hospital in Minnesota.
Class act. Love it.
So, yes, Ryan Hartman A-plus dude. A, because he fought Evander Kane and won, and B, because he donated tons of money to a children's hospital in Minnesota. All right.
Ryan Hartman, we heart you.
We heart you, absolutely. All right.
That's hilarious. Oh, my God.
That is going to do it for us tonight. We hit the horn. We got to get ourselves out of here because Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports in Las Vegas is coming up right at the top of the hour. I'm sure he's going to be talking a lot of NFL draft. Of course, Vegas has some picks and some moves that they're going to be making, but the Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars are tied at 1 with 4 minutes left to go in the second period. I'm sure he's going to be keeping an eye on that as well. So be sure to stick around and listen to Cale coming up right after us. Thank you, of course, to our sponsors, the Southern California Warriors, for sponsoring not just this show, but all of the shows here on IE Sports Radio. Thank you to Larry for all the hard work that he does just behind the scenes of IE Sports Radio, recruiting some new hosts. We've got some new shows for Indianapolis and for New Orleans coming up here in the works as well as just all the fun things that he does throughout the network. Thank you to Taryn and thank you to Mike for hanging out with us in the chat. Taryn is lamenting how Ryan Getzlaff is soon to retire. Stick taps all around for Getzlaff, though. That is an amazing career that he's finishing up. Next week, the playoffs will be here. Zach and I will be doing some breakdowns and some look-aheads at the series as we know them. Until then, stay out of the penalty box, light the lamp, do that hockey thing. He is Zach. I am Adam. We are the Neutral Zone. We will see you next week. Have a good night, everybody.